Nowadays, Netflix is full of all kinds of movies, shows, and documentaries. There is so much stuff to the point that it's often hard to find which one is particularly good to check out. With that being said, a lot of you have seemingly already found a great docuseries on there, specifically Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. And with all of this insanity that the series puts in front of the camera, there's even more craziness that we didn't see or that was only lightly touched upon by the documentary film crew. Luckily, that's where I come in, bringing you things you didn't know about Joe Exotic. However, it should be noted that while I'll talk about these things, I'm going to be spoiling the series. So if you have any interest at all in watching it, go do that right now. With that being said, let's get started.
Try and get some good shots, so make sure y'all get me some promo pictures in there.
So there has been a pretty serious update since the series was done filming. Despite being behind bars for the next 2 decades or so, Joseph Maldonado-Passage, also known as Joe Exotic, has officially filed a lawsuit against his former partner, Jeff Lowe. In addition to the United States Department of the Interior, the U.S. Federal Wildlife Service, and some of the people that we see in the series, basically he is suing for perjury, false imprisonment, violating his civil rights, a lot of stuff that basically everything that he says at the end of the series. That's what he's suing about. He believes that federal agents and all of the people named in the suit specifically targeted him and ignored the truth to get to him, and only him, put behind bars. Now, one thing that the series doesn't touch upon really is how exactly a man like Joe Exotic can come into possession of an entire menagerie of tigers. Like, how exactly does one buy a zoo? During the 1990s, Exotic purchased a horse farm near Wynnewood, Oklahoma. After a while, he came into possession of his first big cat and converted the farm into the GW Zoo. And in those early years, Exotic used the horses that he originally had and any that were donated to his facility to feed the big cats, which were probably a bit tastier than some expired Walmart meat. The series does spend quite a bit of time talking about Joe Exotic's political aspirations, but one thing that it doesn't really talk about is just exactly how many votes he managed to pull in. Spoiler alert, it wasn't very many. Let's get into his presidential campaign back in 2016, where Exotic ran as an independent and was able to get on the ballot in Colorado of all places. Of the over 118 million votes that were cast in the 2016 election, Joe Exotic managed to pull in a whopping 962 votes, including write-ins. That's not a lot. And as far as the governor's race in 2018, well, that one was a little bit better ratio-wise, but it was only still 664 votes. So yeah, maybe not the best career path for Exotic to try to go down. You know what else might not have been a great career move for Joe? Becoming a country music artist. Actually, that at least made him money as opposed to costing him money like the presidential political aspirations. But you've got to wonder if he actually wrote and performed the song himself. But reportedly, Exotic lip syncs to someone else's voice, only really playing the part of a country music star, which would really surprise me, to be honest. Now let's take a little break of talking about Exotic and instead talk about the people around him, starting with his former producer and the guy who was trying to get the Tiger King reality show off the ground in the first place, Rick Kirkham. Kirkham was a reporter for the show Inside Edition, but during that time he also had a rather dark secret, as he had an extremely serious problem with drugs. This secret became the focus of a documentary entitled TV Junkie, which included video diary footage from when Kirkham was 14 up to the present day. Sadly, the documentary wasn't super well received, but if you're interested in checking it out, it might actually be worth your while. That's all we have for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel for future content just like this.